Hey, beloved Jacksonville Presbyterian Church, it's Pastor Dustin. Welcome to the 2026 Basecamp video. Here, we're going to look back a little bit on what the Lord did in our midst in 2025, but really we're going to focus most of our attention on what we believe God is calling us to do and to become in 2026. So what's going to guide our time in this video is our three goals, our vision as a church, which is to extend the gospel, to edify one another, and to enjoy God forever. Let's see how we're extending the gospel in 2026.
Hey everybody, Pastor Richard here. I'm so excited to be back full-time on staff after the last 5 years of being with the Sunday Hospice, which has been great, and I think I'm going to bring some great experience back to you in our ministries. But the thing I'm taking back on is missions, and I'm so grateful for that. And this year, of course, we're going back to Honduras. The Honduras mission team, as I record this, are getting ready to leave. And I want to really spend this year introducing the missions and ministries that we support to you, both in person by having people visit us. Mission Sunday will be April 19th. Got some great plans for that we'll be revealing soon. And I hope to do some more online videos, meet your missionaries from where they are around the world, introducing them to you or reminding you who they are. The other thing in missions that you may remember is that we have upped our budget over the last 5 years from 10% being given directly to missions to now 15% of our overall budget being given to missions directly. And about 5% of that is going directly to church planting. Our desire to plant a church ourselves right here in the Rogue Valley for our Hispanic friends. And you're going to hear more about that right now from Gabe, our church planter.
What is up, JPC church family? My name is Gabriel Villaseñor, and I am your new church planting intern. Now you might be asking, well, what does that mean? Well, it means that together we are partnering on spreading the gospel in 2 languages now, as I seek to plant our daughter church, which is a bilingual church for the Hispanic community. I am Hispanic myself, and this is something that I've been called to by God, and I am beyond excited to have this opportunity. We will be doing a few events within our church this year, like the Cinco de Mayo party. I will be working with some Spanish ministry people throughout the Rogue Valley, and I will also be under Dustin as I finish up seminary and learn to be a lead pastor. If you have any questions about this church plant and what it entails, please feel free to reach out or talk to me. I would love to get to know you and get to meet everybody in the church. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Joy, and edifying one another, that is building each other up in the faith, requires us to spend time together and to know one another. And one of the best ways to do that at JPC is through our all-church events. And this year, we'll be having a lot of the same ones we did last year, things like the all-church Palm Sunday barbecue with the egg hunt and quest for kids, and also the Harvest Carnival in the fall. But we'll also be having some new events like our Taco Tuesday Cinco de Mayo event, where we'll get to hear more about the Spanish-speaking church plant that you've been hearing about. But one date I really want you to put on your calendars is the last weekend in June. June 26th through the 28th is our all-church retreat up at Aldersgate Camp. And you guys, this really is the best opportunity for you get to form new relationships and to deepen old ones. It's a great combination of scheduled events and also a lot of downtime. You as an individual or your family can choose whether you stay in a lodge or in a cabin, or you can bring your RV. All your meals are prepared for you. And this year we get to have a guest speaker, Nathan Mosier, who you're really going to love. So be sure to mark your calendars for June 26th through the 28th. I would love to see you at one, if not all, of those all-church events.
Hi, everyone. Just want to take a moment to share a quick update on children's ministry and what we're looking forward to in 2026. 2025 was a great year. Our Sunday school classes grew, we launched Trail Life, relaunched Shining Stars, and had our first kids camp at Wilderness Trails. None of this would have been possible without our incredible volunteers and prayer warriors. Thank you for faithfully serving our kids. Looking ahead to 2026, there's a lot to be excited about. Trail Life will continue meeting on the first 3 Thursdays of the month, followed by a monthly Hit the Trail adventure. During the summer, we'll take a break from regular troop meetings and have 2 Hit the Trail adventures each month. Lots of opportunity for fun, growth, and time together outdoors. Shining Stars will also continue in 2026. Shining Stars is our discipleship group for 3rd through 5th grade girls, where they come together monthly for a fun activity and devotional, building friendships and growing in their faith together. And I'm really excited to announce that this June, we'll be hosting a Quester VBS for preschoolers through 2nd graders. Rousseau Brosser, also known as the Quester, will be partnering with us for a 4-day Quester camp that's creative, engaging, and packed with gospel truth. And finally, this July, we'll be returning to Wilderness Trails for Kids Camp. This is a 3-night camp for 3rd through 5th graders, and will again be partnering with Eagle Point Community Bible Church. It's an incredible opportunity for kids to grow in their faith, build friendships, and have tons of fun. It's also a personal highlight of mine. I can't wait to see what God does in children's ministry this year. Thank you for praying, serving, and cheering on the next generation with us.
Hey guys, my name is Nate, and I run the youth ministry here at Jacksonville Pres, and we've just seen another great year of the Lord moving in the hearts and minds of our middle schoolers and high schoolers. Our goal is always to see affection soar for Christ, and that's something that we've been blessed to see this year. And we've seen many baptisms happening in the youth group as well. So if you are a praying person, you're keeping our youth in prayers, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. But I also want to let you know about some of our upcoming big events for 2026. Coming up in February 14th through 16th, we're doing our high school winter retreat. The signups are already closed for that. Coming up in March 13th through 14th, those are the dates of our youth mission yard sale. All the funds for this sale go towards our youth mission trip to Mexico, which is coming up in the month of June, and that's going to be June 12th through 19th. For those of you that receive my beginning of the year email, you might notice that the dates have changed a little bit. We sort of had to change our travel plans, but that's okay. We're just going to be heading up there a day earlier than we were expecting. And finally, for the last of our big events, we have one for the middle schoolers. We have that going on July 20th through the 22nd, and that's going to be our middle school summer camp. For the past couple of years, we've been doing it at Lake Siskiyou, but this year we're going to be doing it at Wilderness Trails. So we're super excited for that. And of course, those are only the big events. We're going to have various smaller events throughout the year as well. So be on the lookout for that. If you want to stay up to date with what's happening in the youth ministry, you can feel free to call me or email me. I can add you to the email chain. And yes, thank you for all of your support, and looking forward to see what the Lord does with the youth ministry in 2026.
My name is Drew Arvidsson. I run the college age group, so 18 to 23-year-olds.
And I'm Jessie Hamblin, and I run the career age small group for young adults, and it's 24 to 30-year-olds.
So right now we have weekly Bible studies where we meet in our groups and just build community, get to know the Lord, get to know one another. But we also have different events throughout the year where we do stuff all together. Because both of those age groups are very transitional. And so what we want to do is just, be there for one another, build community, and learn about the Lord together.
Yeah, and our group meets weekly Monday nights at 6:30 at the historic church here in Jacksonville.
And we meet Tuesday nights at our home. So you can get our address by messaging me.
And this year, for the first time, we're excited to host a mission trip for this age group. 18 to 30-year-olds are invited to join us in July in Chiang Mai, Thailand, where we will be serving at a camp for missionaries affected with children with disabilities. Very similar to Camp Levi, but over in Thailand. And we're excited to take a team over there this summer.
Yeah, it'll be a super cool experience where people can volunteer for a week, but also meet families that are serving in multiple different scenarios and countries all around the world to gain exposure to missions and what that can look like serving Jesus. Yeah, no matter the country or context.
This is our second year rolling into our studies, and we're also excited that we get together quarterly. We've done rafting, bonfires, we've done bowling nights. So this year, we just want to keep growing our small groups, but then also growing opportunities to fellowship outside of our groups together.
Yeah, I think something that I'm looking forward to this year with our group is now that we have more of an established group, and as people join into it, just gaining more vulnerability and humility in our walks with the Lord, but also leaning on one another, like, hey, I need this at this time in my life, and just being able to pray for one another and grow our faith together has been something I'm really looking forward to.
Hey everyone, if we haven't had the chance to meet yet, my name is Grace and I get to serve as the Director of Disabilities Ministry here at Jacksonville Presbyterian Church. This year is full of opportunities to connect and build community. We're gearing up for another season of art classes with Miss Carol for both children and adults affected by disabilities. We'll also continue offering the groups and spaces that have become meaningful points of connection for our church family, including Care Group for mothers of children of any age affected by disabilities, Dad's Group, Room for You, Friendship Class, and Friendship Group, which is our monthly gathering for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. A big part of my role here at JPC is organizing and directing Camp Levi, a retreat for families affected by disability where the entire family gets to rest, play, and experience community together. I'm so excited to share that our theme for Camp Levi 2026 is Narnia at Camp Levi. Bring your swords, dust off your crowns, and get ready for an epic adventure this summer. Our theme verse for Camp Levi this year comes from Isaiah 55:12. You will go out in joy and be led forth in peace. We're expectant for the ways that God will meet our families in both joy and peace this summer. I'm so grateful for this church and the way that you consistently choose compassion and inclusion. I see the body of Christ at work here, and I'm so excited to see what God will do in our ministry in 2026.
Discipleship is more than just about learning. It's really about becoming. Becoming more like Jesus looks like being in the Word every day, walking in Christian community, serving, and really allowing God to shape all parts of our lives. But that journey is not meant to be taken alone. And so this year, we're hoping to add more Bible studies for both men and women at more times of the day, and some with childcare. We'd also love to get more of you plugged into discipleship groups. Those are those small groups that meet over dinner, typically either in homes or at the church, and they run seasonally from January through the spring, and then again in the fall, September through November. So if you haven't had a chance to get connected in a discipleship group, I would ask you to prayerfully consider whether this is the year that you do that. But regardless of where you are in your faith journey, I'm just praying that 2026 is the year that you take the next step. And if I can help point you in the right direction, I would love to do that. And ladies, it was just a year ago that I sat here and talked about forming a women's ministry team. And through God's goodness and faithfulness to us, not only did he form a great team, we were able to cast some vision for women's ministry and provide more opportunities for the ladies at JPC. And we're praying that we can continue to do that this year. Simply put, women's ministry at JPC is based in God's Word and centered around discipleship. So it's a place where we can grow in faith together and also seek Jesus intentionally and encourage one another to live out the gospel, but doing it together, because everything is more fun with a friend, right? We have 5 women's ministry events on the calendar for this year. Yes, 5. One of those is coming up really soon with Cup of Connection, but we'll also have hikes and worship nights. We'll have an opportunity to go for a weekend up to Camp DeBoer again at Lake of the Woods in October. We'll also have an opportunity to cook and create together and to mentor and be mentored. So I'm just looking forward, ladies, to spending more time with you this year. Come and talk to me how you might be able to be involved in women's ministry. And guys, we didn't forget about you. There's a great opportunity coming up. Keep listening.
Men of JPC, we are excited to announce our Lent Challenge. Now, you may notice that my ears look a little bit funny, and that's because of my time in combat sports. And so I'm bringing that by helping you guys fight the good fight. Me and Dustin this Lent are going to be helping you build Christian virtues and disciplines. This is going to look like every Wednesday morning we are going to join together for a delicious breakfast and talk and disciple each other and build into a community of service and serving God. So be ready for that and get excited because we're going to be fighting that good fight.
Hey everybody, Pastor Richard again. I want to talk to you briefly about Stephen Ministry, such an important part of our compassionate care ministry here at the church. Over the years, we have trained 25 Stephen ministers who have cared for so many care receivers one-on-one, completely confidentially, from within our church congregation and within our community. We're looking this year to train at least 6 more. If you're looking to train in that way, please contact me and we'll be looking out for the ways to sign up. Also, if you're looking to receive care from a Stephen minister, again, completely confidentially, you can reach out to myself by a phone or email, or you can fill out the form on our church website. It can be for numerous reasons. Maybe you've lost a loved one, you've lost a job, you've just had your first child and you're kind of freaking out. Whatever it might be, you're recovering from an illness, you've got a terminal diagnosis, you've just moved to the area and you don't know anybody, you're lonely. Whatever the need might be, it might seem big, it might seem small, we're there for you. Please reach out to us. Hey everybody, I know I talk about it a lot, but mental health and well-being is so important and a topic that we don't talk about enough. If you've known me for any time, you know that I've struggled with my own mental health and well-being and been helped by our congregation, my faith, and some really great mentors in my life. We started some support groups last year. They went really well. New ones are just beginning as I record this. And there are just ways to plug in and be supported. I'm so thankful to the team. This year, we'll be doing some more education. We hope to have the ACEs course run by our good friend from Westminster, Reverend Chris Ward. That's Adverse Childhood Experiences. And we're going to go to a conference as well on mental health and the church over in Washington, D.C. and come back with some great information and ways that we can work together to condition our mental health. Thank you, everybody. Love you all, and look forward to 2026.
Hi, I'm Kenny Horton. My wife Laura and I have been members here at Jacksonville Presbyterian Church since 2007, and I've been part of the worship team since we first arrived. And it's been amazing to watch the hand of God at work over all these years. Psalm 145 says in part, "Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall commend your works to another, and shall declare your mighty acts. They shall pour forth the fame of your abundant goodness, and shall sing aloud of your righteousness." My heart just overflows in worship because God is so good. And now in 2026, I have the great joy of being the interim music director here. As Psalm 145 says that one generation commends God's great works to another, that is so evident here at our church. We've got a terrific multi-generational team here. I work very closely with Nate, our youth director, who grew up right before my eyes into a wonderful worship leader and musician. And I've begun to work very closely with another young man, Zach Souza. He and his wife, Daisy, just placed membership very recently, and he really loves the Lord. We have an incredible group of volunteers, instrumentalists and vocalists that work very hard every week preparing music so that our church can be a worshiping church, so that you can express your love for Christ from a grateful heart. And it's really fun for me to hear you sing aloud of God's righteousness. Of course, none of us would hear much of anything without our terrific team of technicians. Roy Rudd leads an amazing group of sound, video, and lighting technicians. And so if you have a heart for worship and are an instrumentalist or vocalist or want to join our technical team in sound, video, or lighting, please reach out and get yourself plugged in. I am really looking forward to what God has in store for us in 2026. Oh, and by the way, now our worship songs are part of your weekly e-news every week. You can click and listen to the songs that we'll be singing together every Sunday morning now. Great grace and peace to all of you. Thanks a lot.
Jacksonville Presbyterian Church, I hope you were so excited about the things that you heard. And remember, our goal is to extend the gospel, edify one another, but also to enjoy God forever. That's that great reference back to the Westminster Shorter Catechism. What is man's chief end? Man's chief end is to glorify God and enjoy Him forever. And I like to think the emphasis is on forever. So how do we enjoy God as a congregation? Well, the Westminster Larger Catechism will later on say, well, the primary way that we grow in the Lord is actually threefold. It's by three things: the Word, the sacraments, and prayer. So if you want to grow as a Christian, there's all kinds of things you can do, but these are sort of the basics. Study God's Word, enjoy the sacraments, and pray. So how are we going to do those three things this year? Well, in my world, when I think of the Word, I think of my preaching series. So right now we're in January. This is being released in February. We're going to be in the Gospel of Luke until probably the end of August. After Luke, we're going to be jumping back shortly into the Old Testament. I like to go in between the Old and the New Testaments every year, and we're going to actually go through the first 4 chapters of Genesis, and it's going to be called All Good Theology, right? Because I hope you remember, right? All good theology starts where? It all starts in Genesis. After that short series on the first few chapters of Genesis, we're going to be jumping into 1 Timothy, one of my favorite books in the New Testament. And we're going to be in 1 Timothy from the fall, probably until the first few months of next year. But 1 Timothy has a bunch of great passages that are going to guide our time. It's our theme verse is from 1 Timothy. And also 1 Timothy is where Paul reminds us as Christians to be praying for all of those in high places and authority and for our government leaders, which you're going to be hearing more of this year because we're in 1 Timothy and also our government leaders need our prayers. So that's how we're going to be in the Word. When it comes to the sacraments, of course, we are going to continue to celebrate communion on the first Sunday of every month. And the other sacrament that we are able to experience is, of course, the sacrament of baptism. And if you've been watching the Basecamp videos for the last several years, you'll know that about 4 years ago, we set a new vision and plan, a prayerful plan for what we think the Lord was calling us to do. So 4 years ago, we said we were going to start Camp Levi. We were going to start a disability ministry. We wanted to plant a church. We wanted to support other church plants. We wanted to give 15% of our budget to missions. We set all these big, wild goals. And probably the scariest goal to me personally, the one that seemed least likely to happen, was we wanted to see 100 baptisms in 5 years. So we wanted to see, by God's grace, 20 baptisms a year. I completely believe that that's an arbitrary number. That's really between God and His people that He's calling. But what that goal did is it started to get us to think, well, how are we leading people to Christ? Are we a church with the fire of evangelism burning within us? And I can celebrate with you today that as of December, we have baptized 100 people in the last 4 years, which means that we did it a whole year ahead of schedule. And so all I can think is we should have said 200. But seriously, I am so thankful, and all the glory goes to God, who is calling people by name and marking them as His sons and daughters by baptism. So let's pray that we see even more baptisms this year. The last thing I want to talk about, of course, is prayer. So how is our congregation, as we grow numerically and as more people are coming, and as we start to have like a serious parking problem, the elders and I don't want to just grow numerically. We also want to grow spiritually, and we want to grow as people of prayer. So how do we do that? Well, starting this Lent, here in the historic church, we're going to be holding an 8 a.m. prayer service every Sunday for pretty much the rest of this year. And what that means is if you would like to come pray here at the historic church, you can join us really, anytime between 8 and 8:45 and meet us here for a time of personal prayer and guided prayer. I'll be here. Maybe some of the other staff will be here. The elders might be here on any given Sunday, and various people on the prayer team might be here. But we want to grow as a praying congregation. We'll stop praying about 8:45 and then enjoy some bagels and coffee together. And then, by God's grace, we're going to hop into, hopefully, our new church shuttle bus. We have got to get a shuttle bus. So hopefully the next few weeks we will be buying a passenger van, and we need to start shuttling people from here at the historic church over to the main campus, probably for the 9 o'clock service, probably in perpetuity. And so even if you don't come to prayer at 8 o'clock, we do have a parking problem at the 9 o'clock service. So if you are willing, why don't you come park sometimes here at the historic church? You could park here at 8:40, head into the sanctuary with us, pray for a few minutes, get a bagel, hop on the shuttle bus, and get back to church. And we'll take you right back here after the service is over. But really what we're doing by this is we need to be running a shuttle service. We need to be expanding our parking footprint. This is property that we own, so it makes sense that we would be parking over here. We want to be growing as a praying congregation and creating opportunities for people to pray with their pastors and elders and their prayer team. But also what this is doing is this is hopefully getting you and me used to meeting at the historic church at 8 o'clock on Sunday mornings, because by God's grace, we hope to start a third service this fall, maybe even this summer, here in the historic church at 8 o'clock. Now, we're not ready to launch a third service quite yet. We have some things that we need to do around the historic church, but we're going to start by praying at 8 o'clock here at the historic church, and hopefully around August or September, we will have a third service here in the historic church at 8 o'clock. It'll be the same sermon. I'll be preaching it. It'll be the same songs. That's when the hymnals are really going to come into handy. It's going to be the same bulletin, the same order of service. Of course, the music's going to be a little different because we won't have like the full band, but the songs will be performed in a similar way. But I'm hopeful and excited that we will have a third service here at the historic church this fall. So the other thing I need to mention, last thing for Basecamp tonight, I've been teasing it for a while. All of my sermon illustrations, whether I've talked about the monks at Lindisfarne and their Gospels, or I've been talking about C.S. Lewis too much, or I've been talking about the King James Bible all the time, or I've been talking about Scottish people, all of my sermon illustrations have had a theme if you've been picking up on it. And the big news that I want to share with you this year at Basecamp is not that we're switching to the King James Bible, although I am reading the KJV this year for my personal Bible reading plan. The big news is that Caroline and I are taking our kids on a 12-week sabbatical this summer to England and Scotland. We're going to be going to London and seeing the sights. We're going to go to Westminster Abbey, where the Westminster Confession was written and where the KJV Bible was originally translated. We're going to be spending several weeks in the Highlands of Scotland, going to psalm-singing Presbyterian churches. We're going to be going to little Highland towns like Aberfeldy, Scotland. We're going to go to the Isle of Iona and see where the first Irish missionaries started the first church in Scotland. We're going to go to Lindisfarne, the Holy Island, and I'm going to see where those monks, made those amazing Gospels. We're going to be going to Edinburgh and doing all kind of amazing things that'll make a lot of sense. I'm taking a class at Oxford later on. We'll be in the English countryside for a little while. The main thing you need to know is basically I'm gone for 12 weeks, and the whole family will be. I'm going to be kind of insufferable for the whole year because like almost every sermon is going to have something to do with England or Scotland. So apologies in advance. And lastly, what you probably need to know is what's the plan for preaching while I'm gone? Well, because we're sort of down one pastor right now with Scott and Meredith having moved off, and we're still trying to fill some staff positions long-term, the elders have asked Rick Boya, retired pastor at Trail, to fill in every Sunday while I'm gone. So Pastor Rick has agreed just to preach all 12 Sundays in my absence. he might get sick or something may come up, so you might see someone else. But the elders felt like it was important for there to be consistency in the pulpit while I'm gone, and Pastor Rick graciously agreed to do that. So don't take my sabbatical as your opportunity to disengage, friends. It is our opportunity actually for you to make my heart glad and to grow, and for me to come back to an even stronger church than I left. So please step up and let's grow as a church, even in my absence. So let me just finish up now from the King James, if you'll suffereth me. I'm going to say our theme verse for this year, which is really the goal for everything that we're doing, whether it's extra prayer at 8 o'clock, whether it's sending our young adults to Thailand, whether it's working to plant a bilingual church in the Rogue Valley, or it's bringing the Quester to VBS for our kids ministry, all of the various things that we're doing. This is the end game. This is the goal. 1 Timothy 1:5 says this, Christian, now the end of the commandment is charity, perfect love, coming out of a pure heart and of a good conscience and faith unfeigned. Love you guys. See you this year.